What's up guys? So I'm currently going through a challenge this year of trying to complete every single game in my backlog. I have over 300 games in my backlog and the goal is to try to get all of these done before the end of the year. So today the platinum trophy that we are going for is Death's Door. So Death's Door was added to the free monthly games in the month of August of 2023. Now I think the reason that my backlog is so bloody big is because I add these monthly games into my backlog every single month, and honestly I have no intention in playing half of the games. But I did mark this game down as interesting and it was one that I definitely wanted to get the platinum trophy for. So if you want to keep up to date with my challenge and see everything else that I'm doing on this channel, please subscribe down below. So Death's Door has a total of 25 trophies for us to collect. It is rated a 4 out of 10 for difficulty, requires 2 playthroughs, but will only take approximately 15 hours to complete. So the trophy list for Death's Door is very straightforward with a few story related trophies, collectible related trophies, and combat related trophies. It can be divided up into 2 stages. Stage 1 is just completing the game. Stage 2 is getting all of the collectible and combat related trophies and achieving the true ending. And then finally, stage 3 is for completing the game using only the umbrella weapon. Now, it is possible to get this platinum done in one playthrough if you decide to use the umbrella from the start. However, if I'm being completely honest, the umbrella weapon does make the game significantly harder and frustrating at times, as the damage you do is significantly less. And I honestly think this would ruin the value of the game, and in my opinion it is definitely better to do 2 playthroughs considering the game itself is so short. There are also 3 missable trophies. 2 of these trophies are related to boss fights and another one is for getting a little collectible done, but these are all very easy and very hard to miss and you'll likely get them done naturally anyway. So the story of Death's Door involves us taking on the role of a small crow. We work as a reaper collecting souls for the Reaping Commission headquarters. We take these souls from people who are not willing to leave life, which certainly sounds rather depressing. But basically, the first mission of the game is to go and get the soul of a monster who does not want to leave life willingly, and this is the tutorial. Here we learn all of the basic controls of the game, and then at the end of the level, we confront the tutorial boss. After defeating the boss, we gain access to its soul. However, as we are about to grab the soul, an old crow intervenes and steals the soul from us. This old crow explains a conspiracy theory regarding the disappearance of other crows like us. And from here, the old crow then explains that we must make our way through 3 separate dungeons in order to collect 3 giant souls in order to open up Death's Door. And so from this point onwards, you basically have free roam around the map to do whatever you want and complete the dungeons in any order you would like. So in regards to the gameplay for Death's Door, it is very basic. The gameplay is a little bit Souls-like in that you only get a certain number of hits before you die and then you are reset to a checkpoint. However, each dungeon is composed of a certain amount of enemies and then puzzles in which we must solve, and then a major boss fight at the end in which we get the giant soul. So after making our way through the first dungeon, we come across our first boss, Grandma. And here is where you can earn your first missable trophy of the game, and also likely your very first trophy of the game. Here you need to set Grandma's pot on fire, and it is part of the boss fight, and you would be pretty hard pressed to miss this. But basically, when Grandma goes into this spinning pot move, you have to aim your fire ability at the pot and hit it in the opening and you will get your trophy. Yes, hot pot. Set Grandma's pot on fire. So after earning our first trophy, we then defeated Grandma and gathered our first giant soul. So with the first dungeon cleared, we then moved on to our second dungeon, and like we did in the first one, we completed a few puzzles before fighting the end boss. So at the end of the second dungeon, we meet our second boss, the Frog King. Here you'll likely also earn your second trophy of the game and also the second missable trophy. This one is again really straightforward, and when the Frog King jumps off the edge of the map here and tilts the board down, you need to throw a bomb into his mouth and you will pop your missable trophy. Mill for a king, okay. After defeating the Frog King, we then earn our second giant soul. So at this point you can see that I was basically halfway through the game and I'd only earned a total of 2 trophies. The trophy progression in this game is certainly slow and you tend to pop them all at the end of the game. But after defeating the second boss, I returned back to the Reaping headquarters and fully upgraded the strength of my character, popping my 3rd trophy. Specialist, there we go. Max out any of the 4 stats. On the way to the 3rd dungeon, I then popped my 4th trophy for picking up this mask. Though, even though you have to finish it twice. Oh, clever too much. Gain a devoted fan. My 5th trophy that I earned was our final missable trophy. Now this one is missable in the sense that if you don't get it done before you deliver the last giant soul, there are no longer any forest spirits that you can guide through the security barriers. So as long as when you return to the Reaping headquarters, you get one of the forest spirits and walk through the security door, you will be all good to go. Nice, no threat detected. Get a forest spirit through security. So after this, I then returned to the 3rd dungeon, and while doing a bit of exploring, I earned 2 miscellaneous trophies for helping out some NPCs. Squid soup, perfect. Except Jefferson soup. Banging tune. Listen to Barb's magnum opus. I then completed the rest of the 3rd dungeon and faced off against the final boss, Betty. Now, for some reason, this boss does not have any missable or combat-related trophies tied to it, so you can pretty much just defeat them, and then once you beat them, you have your 3rd and final soul. Don't die to one of these frickin' things. So with the final giant soul recovered, I could now open Death's Door. However, before progressing and opening Death's Door, I purchased my 12th stat upgrade, popping my final trophy before beating the game. That, bang, big spender. Purchase 12 stat upgrades. So after using the 3 souls, we open Death's Door, and here we expose the truth of what is really going on. We learned through Death that the bureaucracy was created when Death entered into an agreement with the first Lord of the Doors to process souls on Death's behalf in exchange for extending his life. However, this was only meant to be done in the short term until the Lord of Doors could appoint a successor. However, the thought of living forever was too good for the Lord of the Doors, and he imprisoned Death behind his very own door. Upon discovering this, we then confront the Lord of the Doors, and here is the final boss fight where we earn our last trophy and beat the game. Let's go, There we go. Crow Gamer beat the game. So with the game now finished, I had to go through and get all of the collectibles, and so I returned to each section of the game and completed various miscellaneous tasks and got the remaining collectibles. The first 2 trophies I earned were for upgrading the fire and arrow ability. Over time. Cremation. Upgrade the fire ability so far, and he's not even a main boss. Hawkeye. Upgrade the arrow ability. For our next trophy, we had to get a gang of 10 plus spirits to follow us around. This can easily be done in the tutorial level of the game, however you will need to do it at the end when you have the hookshot ability, as you cannot get to a certain area on the map here without it. Yes, Conga Line. Have a gang of 10 plus forest spirits follow you. I then found Pothead's secret garden. Plothead. Access Pothead's secret garden. And then upgraded the hookshot and bomb ability. Crouching Tiger, Hidden Crow, upgrade the hookshot ability. Demo Crow, upgrade the bomb ability. After this, I then popped 3 collectible trophies, 1 for collecting all weapons. Weapon Master, collect all weapons. The next for finding all of the shrines. Made it! Zen. And 3rd for finding all of the seeds and planting them in their respective pots. Reap what you sow, all seeds collected and planted. I then completed my final 2 side quests for taking a midnight stroll with Jefferson and meeting with 3 owls. In core cahoots. And then I finished off by getting all of the shiny things. Ooh, shiny. Collect all shiny things. So with the game now completed to 100%, I now just had to complete the true ending. Now you don't have to fight any more bosses, however you just need to go to a certain part of the map and it triggers the true ending. Here in the true ending, we find out that the crows were acting on the will of an entity known as Truth in order to get knowledge. And so after watching this cutscene, we then pop the trophy for completing the true ending. Oh, where? A true ending. Well, question marks. And then when we were returned back to the main menu, we popped our trophy for completing the game to 100%. Yeah, Lord of Chores. 100% 100% complete the game. And so then finally, I just had to complete my Umbrella playthrough. Now your Umbrella playthrough is going to be significantly harder than your first playthrough, as the Umbrella only does 0.5 damage compared to all of the other weapons. So what gets really frustrating is that you have to spend a lot longer on each boss trying to kill them, and you have to be a lot more strategic with when you attack and decide to hit them. The final bosses can take upwards of 10 to 15 minutes to complete, and it certainly gets frustrating when you continuously die over and over. But it is certainly achievable, and with a little bit of patience you'll get this done, and it'll probably only take you a couple of hours as you know where everything is and you can rush through the game fairly quickly. But after a few hours I then pop my trophy for getting the Umbrella playthrough completed, and then my next platinum trophy. Yes! There it is! Platinum. Academy of Umbrellas. Beat the game only ever using an umbrella as your melee weapon. And bing! The shiniest thing. Obtain all trophies and reap the ultimate reward. Overall, Death's Door was an enjoyable game and I absolutely loved my first playthrough. The second playthrough with the Umbrella did leave a little bit of a sour taste in my mouth, as it was much more difficult and just frustrating at times, as it would take so long to just kill bosses and get everything done. But honestly, it's a game that I would seriously recommend, and if you have it added into your library as part of your PlayStation Plus subscription, I would definitely get this done as soon as possible. Like always guys, if you can please leave a like, comment and then subscribe down below, that would be awesome. I will see you guys all in the next one.